some point in your professional career as a manager, you will encounter this situation. Or perhaps you've encountered it already. You will need to get your team to do what you want. They're not doing it. And there is some job that needs to be done or needs to be finished, or a behavior that needs to be adopted. And despite your best efforts, they're not doing it. And it's a key aspect, maybe not even of leadership, but just of management in general, because we can keep on talking about high-level leadership, new ways of working, hybrid setups, soft skills, etc., etc. But we shouldn't forget that at the end, there is also a job to be done. And unfortunately, this situation will necessarily, at some point in your career, be part of said job to be done. So, how do you go about it? There are 3 ways that I've seen and identified and that I'm working on to get the job done. And one by one. Number 1, you can simply rely on hierarchy or anger or coercion of sorts. Basically saying that I'm the boss, I'm the supervisor, and therefore you need to do this. But of course, that might get you those results, but it's not sustainable over time. It's not conducive to a coherent and cohesive team, right? Because that's also a part we're interested in. Second aspect, and I know it might be controversial saying it out loud, you could be manipulative. You could manipulate your team into doing exactly what you want. So it will get you the results that you want, but there are some problems with it. First and foremost, the fact that it's unethical. And being unethical, it has no space whatsoever in any professional relationship. But even if you were willing, hypothetically, to forego that part, there is also another situation to deal with. The fact that doing it well implies spending a lot of time and effort in learning this skill, because it's not something immediate. Otherwise, we'd all be probably doing it. So, if that's the case, is there anything that is A, sustainable over time, and B, that works, and that is ethical, and that we can learn even with a large amount of time and effort, that will enable us to get our team to follow our lead better? I've been looking around quite a lot in this direction the last few weeks and maybe even months, because what I wanted to get was a structure that I could offer people I work with. They could rely on to drive their team best they could. And something that could be applicable whether you are in a in-person setup, remote-only setup, or a hybrid setup. And the way I see it, and based on the research that I've done, there are 2 areas that you can rely on. One is trust, and the other one is motivation. If you know what triggers a sense of trust in yourself as the manager from people, and you know how to activate it, and if you know how a specific type of motivation is developed and how you can develop it in others, then over time, what you can definitely rely on is having the skills to build a team that will trust you, will be motivated by the relationship with you, and as such, automatically will be more willing to put the effort to do what needs to be done. And also, if that's the structure you build, well, you won't even have the necessity to resort to anger or coercion, or to try even to manipulate people if that's what you've been thinking about. So, why am I talking about this? Because it's something that I'm quite excited about. I'm quite excited about this whole structure that I've built and developed. And because it's not something that I can talk about in a 4 to 5 minute video. Matter of fact, I will be breaking all of the points down in the next few ones that I'll be publishing, and giving you a quick tip or input for each one that can help you at the very least figure out what to do, what the steps to be taken are, and what you could do better in order to get your team to do what you want in an ethical way, in an effective way, and in a way that builds a better team environment and makes you a better leader. I am quite excited about going on this little journey with you, and I'm quite excited about publishing all this material that I've been working on till now. What would you need practically and specifically from this? Let me know. I'm curious about that. Thank you. Stay safe. Talk soon.